All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm so sorry we have not been uploading very much. Our videos will be more sporadic from here on out, but I am super excited to talk about Jedi Survivor, which I was able to play. I have the full game. I've been able to play it for the last week or so. I have not quite finished the game yet, just because life is really busy. I'm definitely past halfway. I don't know exactly how long I have left, but from talking to some other creators who have the game, it seems like I'm kind of nearing the end of the game right now. And so today I just want to give a review and talk about some things that I really like, some things that maybe I don't like as much, but for the most part, I will tell you, I am stoked about Jedi Survivor, and what this game has turned out to be is exactly what I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a continuation of Fallen Order and have everything that was fun from Fallen Order and then some, and that's pretty much exactly what this is. And so we'll get into it. I'm going to share some soft spoilers, not major spoilers at all. And so if you want nothing whatsoever spoiled about this game, maybe, bookmark this video, come back to it after you've had a chance to play through it. But I promise I'm not going to spoil anything too major, and I don't even personally know how it ends yet because I haven't quite reached the end yet in my playthrough. I talked to Alex from Star Wars Explained. He said for him, blitzing through the main story, it took him about 17 hours to get through. I will say, for me, it feels so far like the game feels bigger, especially Kobo, the main planet, it's so expansive, which I think is pretty cool. So anyway, let's dig into it. So first and foremost, I just want you all to be hype for the beginning of this game. Coruscant is where you begin this game. Now, if you're a Coruscant junkie like me, Coruscant is comfortably my favorite planet in Star Wars lore. And so spending some time on Coruscant, playing through it, was really, really exciting. And there was more to it than I thought. I was worried it would be kind of like the beginning of Fallen Order, where you play a little bit on Braca and then you move on. You don't really get to go back to Braca. Coruscant isn't that. At the beginning, you won't be able to go back to Coruscant. You'll finish your playthrough of that planet, which takes probably about an hour's worth of solid gameplay. And then you'll move on. And the holotable on the Mantis does not let you go back to Coruscant, but eventually it comes back and it allows you to travel there and knock it out. Now, the playthrough on Coruscant specifically, it's definitely the smallest planet in terms of how much playable area there is. When I was able to finally go back to Coruscant, just from playing through the main story at the beginning of the game, it showed already 80% explored. And so most of what you see at the beginning of the game is what you get, unless they expand on that towards the end of the game, which I don't know exactly what's coming, so take that for what it's worth. I think that this game has really improved combat. There is more lightsaber stances you can use. There's just a lot more little tips, little nifty tricks you can do with this. The two stances that I really like that are totally new for this game. Eventually, you get a blaster where you can use a lightsaber and a blaster. That's actually a lot cooler than I thought it'd be. At first, I wasn't sure I felt about it because I'm like, it's a Jedi game. I don't want to use a blaster. But once I started using it in practice, no. I really like it. The blaster is really fun, and it's basically the blaster just charges up like your force meter does, etc. And so the blaster is really awesome, but I really like the crossblade, which is basically functioning like a heavy lightsaber where you swing it slower, it's got more power, but the finishing moves on it are really exciting. The only thing about it is you really just got to be mindful of timing, of course, whenever you're wielding a heavy weapon. With any games you've played like this, it's just kind of getting that parry timing down and getting, sometimes you'll get in a wind up, you press and hold Y, you do a big swing, and a lot of times if you don't do that with the right timing, you're going to get wrecked before you get a chance to swing your saber. And so be mindful of that. But I really, really enjoy both of those stances. I also think that they improved a lot on like the parkour in this game, the climbing in this game. There's a lot of really nifty sequences where you do some really cool climbing in the game. I don't know how else to describe it. It's just getting from point A to point B. There's some really creative ways that you do that, especially deep in the game. There's a part, again, soft spoiler here, but there's a shattered moon on Kobo that you go to, which it's a moon next to Kobo. And there's some sequences in there where it's just the amount of the way that you traverse the area is really fun, I think. And so I quite enjoyed that. And speaking of the shattered moon in Kobo, the vast majority of this game takes place on 3 planets so far. So if you don't want to know those planets, skip ahead a little bit. But the three, it's Kobo, which is the main hub planet, the Shattered Moon on Kobo, and then Jeddah. And a lot of the stuff happening on Jeddah is really, really cool. I won't spoil a lot there, but I was really excited about Jeddah. I have a feeling there's more planets coming still to remain in my playthrough, because so far all I have on my holotable, even though I've been playing for over 10 hours now, is Kobo, Coruscant, Shattered Moon of Kobo, and of course Jeddah, which I just mentioned. So I will say I don't think the story is quite as compelling as the story of Fallen Order was. I have not finished the story yet, and so it could get there towards the end, but with how much I've played, I'm not really that invested in the story. I don't think that's necessarily just because of the story itself, though. I think maybe Fallen Order relied a little bit more on nostalgia and tropes that we see through the General Stars universe. This game is a lot more independent, kind of to its own vibe. And so I think that's actually a strength in some ways. Maybe that's just a general problem with Star Wars we have, where we kind of lean on nostalgic tropes to kind of get that excitement flowing. And so take that for what it's worth as well. Soft spoiler here as well. I will say the interaction between Cal and Marin in this game is really exciting. I really, really like a lot of the sequences with Cal and Marin. There's one specific sequence in particular about midway through the game. I believe it's the second time you end up going to Jeddah, where all I'm going to say is it deals with Marin, and there's this whole sequence that you have to play through where Marin's kind of helping you get through something, and it is one of the coolest video game sequences I've ever played. It was legitimately amazing. Massive props to Respawn for that sequence. I was on my feet laughing while I played it because I thought it was so fun and so cool. The difficulty in the game is really solid. I've been playing the game on Jedi Knight. I am not trying to show off for anyone. Attack, parry, dodge games are not my strong suit necessarily. And there's definitely been some moments of rage, even on Jedi Knight mode. They have more difficulties available. There's story mode, and then there's Jedi Padawan, and then Jedi Knight, and then 2 more above that. And so I'm right in the middle. And there's been a few sequences where I have really struggled to get through, which if you're really good at these kind of games, probably won't be the case for you, but for me it was. And so I feel like the difficulty has been, there's been a lot of really good moments of challenge in the game. Also, I will say the customization is really cool, but if you are a story blitzer, if you just want to blitz through the story straight through that golden path, you're not going to find as much. They don't have as many boxes and crates laying around as they did in Fallen Order. I've definitely noticed a difference in that, and I think the reason for that is it's offsetted by these different places you can go into the game, especially on Kobo, to purchase different items with there's no pay to win mechanics, but with currency that you gain through the game, through playing the game. And so a lot of that's going to come from side quests you can do. Kobo has a lot of side quests you can do. I will confess I have not done a single one because I am a story blitzer. And so I don't have a whole lot of customization available to me in terms of especially I want different facial hair options for Cal. I don't have that many right now. And so once I finish the story, I'll definitely be returning to Kobo and doing a lot of those. And I believe that's where you get most of the customization options that are available in the game. So overall, I'm going to say pretty confidently from a gameplay perspective, I think that Jedi Survivor is more fun than Jedi Fallen Order. The story doesn't seem to captivate me quite as much. Again, haven't finished it yet, but I'm just not quite as gripped by the story. But as far as actual gameplay fun, I am having a freaking blast playing this game. It is just as fun as Fallen Order was, and then some. There's just more to do. There's a lot more exciting ways to kill people. I love that you're able to dismember stormtroopers, etc., and all of that. I overall, as far as how satisfying it is to play this game, I think it's actually an improvement on Jedi Fallen Order, which is exactly what I wanted. So anyway, I'm really excited for all of you to be able to play this game. Please be sure to let me know what you are the most excited about in Jedi Survivor, and I will see all of you in the next video. And as always, my brothers, don't forget, Han shot first.